2, 1.
All right, friends, for today's video, we're going to start with just our math notebook and pencils. So go ahead and get that real quick. Let's go ahead and turn to our next two clean sheets, which are 142 and 143. All right, in yesterday's video and last night's homework, we talked about polygons, which are closed figures of 3 or more line segments. And the ones that we talked about yesterday were quadrilaterals. So today we're going to look at some two-dimensional figures. That's the flat shapes. We're going to look at different ones. And the reason we're going to look at them is so we can classify them. We're going to classify them into groups. We're going to put them into groups based on their sides. So go ahead and get your pencil. We're going to title page 143 Polygons, because that's what we're focusing on. And 142 is going to be our polygon example cards. So go ahead and title both of those pages. Once you've titled both of those pages, you are going to need to come to my small group table to get these sheets right here. So these are the 3 sheets that you just got from me. And it's a whole bunch of shapes with a whole bunch of blanks and words. What we're going to do is we're going to cut out these 12 squares. So go ahead and do that now. Cut them out and just stack them up. Now with the cards that you just cut, I want you to put them into 3 piles. We've talked about triangles, so I want you to make a triangle pile. That's the one with 3 sides. We've talked about quadrilaterals. Quad means 4, so all the ones with 4 sides. And then I want you to make another pile of all the extra leftovers. So ones that are not 3-sided and not 4-sided, because now we're going to talk about all of those. So make your 3 piles. All right, so I'm going to start with my triangles. I have 3 triangles here. This one, all my sides look like they're the same. All my angles look like they're the same. If it's 3 equal sides and 3 equal angles, what kind of triangle is that? Equilateral. So we're going to write that at the top. It's an equilateral triangle. And we said it's got 3 equal sides and 3 equal angles. So go ahead and copy that down, and then we're just going to set it to the side for now. We're not gluing it down, just set it down. Looking at this triangle, ooh, I noticed something over here. What do you notice? What kind of angle is that? It's a just right. It's a just right angle. So that means my triangle is a right triangle. It still has 3 sides. It still has 3 angles. I just know one of my angles is exactly 90 degrees. So let's go ahead and write that one down, and then we're going to put it in the stack with the other one. Looking back at my equilateral, we said that they were going to be the same. We forgot to add the word acute. So let's add acute to that one. So it's equilateral and acute. Then for the right triangle, these 2 sides are the same length. So think about my capital I, 2 sides. So we're going to add isosceles. Now the last one, I noticed that this angle right here is kind of big. And if I have one angle that's kind of big, it's more than a right angle. It's what kind of angle? Obtuse. So now this is going to be obtuse. I know I have 3 sides and 3 angles. Are any of my sides the same length? No, they're all different lengths. So when they don't share any equal sides, because they're selfish, we call it scalene. Remember, scalene is that selfish triangle because it doesn't share. So make sure you have those written down. We're going to put them in the pile and then get your ones that were quadrilaterals. Get your quadrilateral stack. So these are the ones that you should have for your quadrilaterals in your pile. So go through and check. If you need to, pause. Because what you're going to do is you're going to use your notes from the quadrilaterals yesterday, and I want you to fill in their names, their number of sides and angles, and then we're going to check them. When we go to check them, you're going to need a highlighter. So go through, fill these out, then get a highlighter for us to check. I lied, you need 2 highlighters. So go get another one if you only got one. Get a different color. They don't have to be pink and blue, but just have 2 colors. Let's check the quadrilaterals. We're going to start with square. Now, I know you don't have all the things I have, but you should have the word square. It has 4 sides, and it does have 4 angles, but I want you to write right angles because the 4 angles are right angles. And go ahead and mark the right angles with that perfect square. Then it has 4 sides that are congruent. Congruent is the same size, same shape. So these, all 4 sides are the same sides. So they would be the same length. Then it has 2 sets of parallel sides. So this top one is parallel to the bottom one. The left one is parallel to the right one. And that's why I went ahead and highlighted them. So I know these 2 are parallel, these 2 are parallel. Go ahead and write that down for square, and then we're going to do trapezoid. This is the one that you should have for trapezoid. We should title it trapezoid. It has 4 sides because it is a quadrilateral. It has 4 angles. None of the sides are congruent, so they're all different lengths. But there is 1 set of parallel sides. The top is parallel to the bottom. They're never going to touch, and they're the same distance apart. So make sure you have that down for trapezoid, and then we're going to do rectangle. For rectangle, rectangles have 4 sides because they are quadrilaterals. They have 4 right angles, so I want you to go ahead and put the perfect square right angles in, so pause if you need to. They have 2 sides that are congruent. The top is congruent to the bottom, so remember that means same size. So this one is the same size as this one. And then the left and the right are the same size, so they would be the same length. So if this length was 4, then this length would be 4. That's what they mean by congruent. Then they have 2 sets of parallel sides. The top and the bottom are parallel to each other. They're never going to touch. The left and the right are parallel to each other. So they have 2 sets as well. Make sure you have that written down. Then we're going to go to rhombus. Find your rhombus. This gets tricky. Don't make sure it's this one, not the other one, because the other one is not a rhombus. This one has 4 sides and 4 angles. So 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4 angles. But all 4 sides are congruent. Remember we said rhombuses are parallelograms with 4 equal sides. So that means this one is the same length as this one, and this one, and this one. They're all the same. And it has 2 sets of parallel sides. The top and the bottom are parallel. The left and the right are parallel. So the last one we're going to talk about is parallelogram. So get that one. All right, so parallelograms have 4 sides, of course. They're quadrilaterals. They have their 1, 2, 3, 4 angles. 2 congruent sides. The top and the bottom are going to be the same length. The left and the right are going to be the same length. So this one is congruent to this one. This one is congruent to this one. And then it has 2 parallel. The top and bottom are parallel. The left and right are parallel. Make sure you have all of those in their pile. And then we're going to talk about the other congruent or the other 2D figures on the next video. So make sure you have all that down and watch the next video.